Tonight I'm going to be making a drink called the Governor. And interestingly enough, the reason I stumbled upon this drink is I have a recipe book that has a drink called the Governors, spelled differently. And I was not at home with my recipe book, and I was Googling it, trying to find the recipe so I could figure out what I needed to get. And I found another drink called the Governor. And so that's what I'm going to be making tonight. And it's actually a drink that's from a bar called the Bourbon Bar. It's at a hotel in Atlanta, Georgia. And so that's where the recipe came from. Incidentally, just looking at, when I was looking at Googling the name The Governor today, there's a number of cocktails out there called The Governor, which is very interesting. And there's one that I thought was really funny called Hello, Governor. I mostly just wanted to say that in the video. But anyways, lots of crazy drinks out there, very similar names. So in my mixing glass, I'm going to use 2 shots of bourbon. The recipe called for 4 Roses bourbon. I don't have that, so I'm using Elijah Craig's small batch, which is a pretty good bourbon. I'm going to use a half a shot of Demerara syrup. I made this. It's just a simple syrup made with a Demerara syrup, which is kind of a more molasses type flavored syrup, so it's a bit stronger. It's really good though in this kind of a cocktail. I'm going to do 3 dashes of orange bitters. Probably just put 4. And then black walnut bitters, which is a new purchase of mine. Same thing, 3 dashes. And I'm going to stir this up for about a minute, and I'll be right back. And I've got a rocks glass with some big sphere ice cubes in here. And I'm going to just strain into my glass. And this drink, you know, it definitely has a lot of old-fashioned in it, which is my favorite cocktail. Obviously some variations. And I'm going to put an orange twist. I like to have a little of the orange in there too, so I've got some pulp. Get that fresh orange juice in there. And let me give it a little bit of a sip here. I'm glad I put the fresh orange in there. It's really good. So I think the orange bitters goes really well with the black walnut bitters. Gives it a bit of a nutty flavor. And it's not as sweet as an old-fashioned. It's sweet, but it's a different kind of sweet. Because, you know, like molasses is sweet, but it's a little different than, like, you know, regular syrup or sugar. So it's just a very interesting drink. I feel like all these flavors just come together, and it just makes for almost like a very interesting old-fashioned to me. Which I think this is going to be a drink I drink regularly. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the Governor. Come back next week and see what drink I'm going to make then. Have a great weekend.